In 1969, a reporter named Milt Macklin ventured deep into the unforgiving jungles of New Guinea. He wasn't chasing treasure or lost cities. He was chasing a rumor, a whisper that a man officially declared dead for years was still alive, living somewhere beyond the tribal lands. That man's name was Michael Rockefeller. Even Milt was skeptical. Michael Rockefeller was one of the most famous missing persons of the 20th century. His disappearance sparked an international search. His powerful family exhausted every resource. History had already written its conclusion. He drowned, but the rumors persisted. Locals claimed to have seen a white man living among the tribes. Missionaries hinted at something darker. Milt decided to follow the trail. For weeks, he and his crew filmed everything: villages, coastlines, canoes moving silently through rivers. He interviewed locals, missionaries, and guides, but nothing solid emerged. The expedition ended in failure. Frustrated, Milt returned home and put all the footage into storage, never to be seen again. Decades passed. Then, another documentary team, researching the Rockefeller mystery, stumbled upon those forgotten tapes. They began watching hours of unused footage, expecting nothing more than scenery. And then, for just a few seconds, something appeared on screen that made them freeze. A distant canoe moved across the water, filled with Asmat warriors, and standing among them was a man who did not belong. A white man, naked, bearded, silently watching. That single ghostly image reopened one of the most disturbing mysteries ever recorded. To understand why, we need to go back to the beginning. In 1961, Michael Rockefeller was 23 years old. He was born into extraordinary privilege. His grandfather, John D. Rockefeller, was once the richest man in the world. His father, Nelson Rockefeller, would become Vice President of the United States. Michael's future was paved with wealth and power, but he rejected it all. He was quiet, introspective, and restless. He wasn't interested in business or politics. He was fascinated by anthropology, by cultures that existed far beyond Western civilization. That curiosity led him to New Guinea, one of the most remote and dangerous places on Earth. Michael became obsessed with the Asmat tribe, renowned for their powerful artwork and complex rituals. He was especially drawn to their bis-pole-stole wooden carvings believed to house the spirits of warriors killed in battle. These weren't just decorations, they were sacred. Michael wanted the Western world to understand their meaning, not just dismiss them as primitive. During one expedition, Michael, a French anthropologist, and two teenage local guides set out on a coastal journey. Their boat was fragile, just two canoes tied together with an outboard motor. The sea that day was unpredictable. As they crossed a turbulent stretch where the river met the ocean, waves slammed into the vessel. The engine failed. The boat began to sink. The two local guides immediately understood the danger. They urged everyone to swim for the distant shore before the current pulled them out to sea. Michael hesitated. The boat carried his trade goods, tools, food, and gifts he intended to offer the Asmat in exchange for their art. Losing them felt like abandoning his entire purpose. Through the night, Michael and the anthropologist clung to the overturned vessel, cold and exhausted. When morning came and no rescue appeared, Michael made a decision that would define his legacy. He believed he could swim to shore. He tied two empty fuel cans to his body for flotation, shook hands with the anthropologist, and disappeared into the open water. That was the last confirmed sighting of Michael Rockefeller alive. Hours later, the anthropologist was rescued. The teenage guides had already made it to land safely, but Michael was gone. The response was immediate and massive. The Rockefeller family launched one of the largest search operations in history. Planes, ships, and helicopters combed the sea and coastline for months. Nothing was ever found. Officially, the world accepted that Michael Rockefeller drowned, but in New Guinea, the truth was never that simple. Local stories told a different version, one spoken only in whispers and passed down through generations. According to these accounts, Michael did reach land after hours of swimming. Exhausted and barely conscious, he drifted toward the mouth of a river. A group of Asmat men in canoes spotted something pale in the water. At first they thought it was an animal or a spirit. As they paddled closer, they realized it was a man. Michael believed he had been saved. He grabbed onto a canoe, relieved beyond words, but he didn't know that the tribe recognized him. They remembered his earlier visit, his attempts to trade for their sacred objects. To them, it wasn't curiosity, it was disrespect. They also remembered something else: warriors from their village who had been killed by outsiders, blood debts that were still unpaid. As the canoes reached the shore, a slow, rhythmic chanting began. Michael sensed something was wrong. He tried to speak, but no one answered. What followed, according to tribal elders interviewed decades later, was a ritual execution. It wasn't seen as murder. In their world, it was just as a way to restore cosmic balance and honor their fallen spirits. For decades, this story remained hidden. The tribe feared retaliation. The outside world accepted the drowning narrative. Silence protected everyone. Then the footage resurfaced. That haunting image of the white man in the canoe spread across the globe. Was it just a coincidence? Or was it proof that Michael had survived the swim, only to meet a different fate? The debate reignited. Journalists returned to New Guinea, once spent months living among the Asmat, slowly earning their trust. When the elders finally spoke, they confirmed the story of the execution, but they also issued a warning. If the truth became public, there would be consequences. The journalists published the story anyway. To this day, no physical evidence has ever been found. No bones, no remains. Only testimony, that single piece of footage, and a universe of unanswered questions. The Rockefeller family maintains that Michael drowned. Official records agree, but the mystery refuses to die, because sometimes the truth doesn't exist in official documents. Sometimes it survives only in memory. If you're still listening, it means this story pulled you in, and that's exactly why this channel exists. Stories like this aren't meant to be skimmed, they're meant to be felt. If you want more real mysteries that challenge official narratives and explore the darkest corners of history, make sure you subscribe and stay connected. Michael Rockefeller's story remains unresolved. He was a man who rejected everything the world offered him, only to vanish into one of its most dangerous places. Whether he drowned in the waves or met a far darker fate may never be proven. But one thing is certain: some mysteries don't want to be solved, they just want to be remembered. Thanks for watching.